I used to think intuition was just a fancy word for wishful thinking, until I started noticing the subtle ways it was showing up in my life. Whether it was the feeling to quit a job or to trust someone I had just met, my life changed when I learned to listen to that inner voice. Albert Einstein once said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant." So why do most of us only serve the rational mind and neglect intuition entirely? In today's video, we're going to change that. A few years ago, a friend of mine had a gut feeling to turn down a job offer that seemed perfect on paper. It didn't make sense, but something didn't feel right. 2 months later, the company collapsed due to a massive scandal. This is the power of intuition, and today we're diving into how you can tap into this superpower for yourself. Welcome to MindFlex Audiobooks, where we break down the most powerful ideas from life-changing books in ways no one else does. Today's video is all about mastering your intuition, because your intuition isn't just a feeling, it's a tool. Penney Peirce's The Intuitive Way is an incredible guide to increasing your awareness, understanding the subconscious, and turning this skill into something you use every day. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge to start making intuition a practical part of your life. We're not just talking about random gut feelings, but creating an intuitive mindset that guides you toward your goals, your purpose, and ultimately, your best self. So buckle up. We're about to unlock your hidden superpower. Section 1. Creating a clear lens. Part 1. Recognizing the intuitive process. Have you ever gotten a gut feeling that you couldn't quite explain? It felt real, but your logical mind dismissed it. What if that feeling was your intuition trying to guide you? Intuition isn't some mystical force. It's a practical, everyday tool that's always working in the background. The problem is, most of us don't recognize it when it shows up. We live in a culture that worships logic and reason, but intuition is often more powerful than rational thinking when it comes to personal decisions and life choices. In fact, intuition often processes information faster than our conscious mind can even grasp. Peirce explains that intuition comes in many forms: a gut feeling, a flash of insight, or even a sense of certainty without clear evidence. Imagine walking into a room and just knowing that something is off, even though nothing seems obviously wrong. Or getting a sudden urge to reach out to an old friend, only to find out they were going through a difficult time. These are all moments where intuition is at play. Recognizing this process is the first step in learning to trust it. Once you start noticing when intuition is talking to you, it becomes easier to differentiate between intuition and fear or wishful thinking. For example, intuition often comes with a feeling of clarity and calm, while fear feels panicky and rushed. The key takeaway here is to become aware of when and how intuition shows up for you. This could be in the form of dreams, physical sensations, or even repeated signs in your environment. Start journaling these experiences and reflecting on how they've played out in your life. With time, you'll notice patterns in how your intuition communicates with you. Part 2. Choosing the intuitive worldview. Have you ever thought that the world is speaking to you in subtle ways? It's not just coincidence, it's part of the intuitive worldview. The intuitive worldview is more than just listening to gut feelings. It's about fundamentally shifting how you see the world. In Peirce's book, she emphasizes that intuition isn't just a personal skill. It's a way of understanding the interconnectedness of everything. The universe is constantly giving you clues, but if you're only focused on rational logic, you're going to miss them. Choosing the intuitive worldview means acknowledging that there's more to life than meets the eye. It's about understanding that every experience, relationship, and event is connected in some way. This isn't a call to abandon reason, but to complement it with a deeper level of awareness. For instance, have you ever experienced a series of coincidences that seemed too perfect to be random? Maybe you were thinking about someone and they called you out of the blue, or you kept seeing the same number everywhere you looked. These might be subtle signs from the universe guiding you in a certain direction. By choosing to adopt an intuitive worldview, you open yourself up to receiving guidance from these seemingly invisible forces. It's about cultivating a mindset where you're open to receiving subtle information, instead of dismissing it as irrational or unimportant. This could be as simple as paying more attention to your surroundings, being more present in your interactions, or taking time to meditate and reflect on the deeper meaning behind your experiences. Peirce teaches us that when you start living this way, life becomes more harmonious. Decisions become easier, opportunities flow toward you, and you start to feel like you're part of something bigger. It's like moving from a world of black and white to one that's full of vibrant color. Part 3. Living in alignment with the creation cycle. Ever wonder why some moments feel like you're swimming against the current, while other times life flows effortlessly? That's the creation cycle at work. The creation cycle is a concept that Peirce describes as the natural rhythm of life: birth, growth, decline, and renewal. Everything in life follows this cycle, from nature to your personal development. When you're out of sync with this cycle, everything feels forced. But when you align yourself with it, life begins to flow effortlessly. Think about a time when you were trying to force a project to work, but nothing seemed to come together. Then, at a later time, the same project suddenly clicked into place without much effort. This is an example of being in and out of alignment with the creation cycle. Living in alignment with the creation cycle means being attuned to the phases of life, knowing when it's time to push forward, when it's time to rest, and when it's time to let go. It's about understanding that growth isn't always linear, and that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to step back and allow things to unfold naturally. Peirce encourages readers to take time to reflect on where they are in their own creation cycle. Are you in a period of growth where you need to take action? Or are you in a phase of decline where it's time to let go of what no longer serves you? By recognizing these cycles in your own life, you can work with the flow of the universe rather than against it. This idea also applies to decision-making. When you align your actions with the natural rhythms of life, your intuition becomes a much more reliable guide. Decisions that once felt overwhelming suddenly become clear, because you're no longer trying to force things to happen before their time. Part 4. Unlocking the secrets of your subconscious mind. What if I told you that the key to understanding your intuition lies in a part of your brain you rarely pay attention to, the subconscious mind? Your subconscious mind is like the hidden engine that powers your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. While your conscious mind is focused on logic and reason, your subconscious is constantly absorbing and processing information at a deeper level. This is where intuition lives. Imagine your mind as an iceberg. The conscious mind is the tip above the water, while the subconscious is the massive part hidden beneath the surface. Most of the time we're only aware of the small tip, but it's the larger part that drives our behavior. Unlocking the secrets of your subconscious is like unlocking a treasure chest of intuitive wisdom. The subconscious is always picking up on subtle cues from your environment, storing memories and processing emotions. Often, your gut feelings are a result of your subconscious mind alerting you to something it has picked up on, even if you're not consciously aware of it. Peirce's approach to intuition involves working with the subconscious, not against it. One way to do this is through meditation and mindfulness, which help quiet the noise of the conscious mind and allow the deeper wisdom of the subconscious to surface. Another key tool is dream work. Your dreams are a direct line to your subconscious mind, and they often provide intuitive insights that are unavailable to your waking self. By paying attention to your dreams, and even keeping a dream journal, you can begin to access the deeper levels of your intuitive mind. The subconscious is also where emotional blocks live. By working through these blocks, you can clear the way for your intuition to guide you more freely. This is where the real magic happens. When your subconscious and conscious minds are in harmony, your intuition becomes a powerful force for transformation. Stay tuned, because next, we're diving into how you can access the invisible information around you. And trust me, it's more powerful than you think. Section 2. Accessing subtle information. Part 1. Becoming aware of the invisible. Have you ever walked into a room and felt an energy shift, even though nothing outwardly changed? What if I told you that there's a world of information around you that you're not consciously picking up on yet? In this section of The Intuitive Way, Peirce explains that subtle information is constantly surrounding us, but most of us aren't trained to perceive it. This invisible realm includes energy, emotions, and nonverbal cues that people give off, as well as the intuitive messages the universe is trying to send you. The key is learning to tune in. Becoming aware of the invisible starts with recognizing that reality extends beyond what your five senses can detect. Most of us have been taught to rely solely on logic and physical evidence, but just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not real. Think about Wi-Fi signals or radio waves. You can't see them, but they're all around you. Intuition works the same way. Peirce describes this invisible realm as a subtle network of energy that connects all things. It's what you tap into when you get a vibe from someone, or when you sense that something is about to happen. Have you ever met someone and immediately felt either drawn to them or repelled by them, without even knowing why? That's your intuition picking up on subtle, invisible information. To develop this awareness, Peirce suggests practicing mindfulness and meditation to quiet the mind and heighten your sensitivity to these subtle signals. Another powerful tool is spending time in nature. Nature operates in harmony with the unseen forces of the universe, and being in a natural environment helps reset your energy and open your awareness to subtle information. In practical terms, becoming aware of the invisible means paying attention to things like body language, tone of voice, and the emotional energy in a room. Over time, you'll start to notice that your gut instincts about people and situations become sharper. You may not always have the words to explain why you feel the way you do, but you'll learn to trust that feeling. Imagine you're at a job interview, and everything seems fine on the surface. The interviewer smiles, nods, and says all the right things. But something in you feels off, like there's an underlying tension. Maybe it's in their body language, or perhaps it's something you can't quite put your finger on. That's your intuition sensing subtle information, the invisible energy in the room that your conscious mind hasn't caught up with yet. Part 2. Hearing your body talk. What if your body could speak to you not through words but through sensations, symptoms, and feelings? Would you listen? Your body is one of the most powerful intuitive tools you have, and it's constantly sending you messages. The problem is, most of us aren't listening. In this chapter, Peirce explores the profound connection between intuition and the body. Our bodies are highly intuitive, often sensing danger, opportunities, or emotional truths long before our minds can process them. Consider the phrase gut feeling. This is more than just a metaphor. Your body literally reacts to situations on a physiological level, often giving you clues about what your intuition is trying to tell you. You might experience this as a tightness in your chest, a sudden headache, or butterflies in your stomach. These sensations are your body's way of communicating subtle truths that your rational mind may be ignoring. Peirce suggests that learning to hear your body talk involves deepening your awareness of these physical sensations and understanding what they mean. Are you tense during certain conversations? Do you feel a sense of lightness or excitement when you think about a particular decision? These are all ways your intuition speaks through your body. A good way to start tuning into this is by practicing body scans. Take a few moments each day to mentally scan your body from head to toe, noticing any areas of tension, discomfort, or lightness. Ask yourself what emotions or thoughts are tied to those sensations. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns. For instance, maybe you always feel a tightness in your chest when you're around certain people, or when you think about specific topics. Imagine you're about to make a big decision. Maybe it's about whether to accept a job offer or end a relationship. On paper, everything seems perfect, but something about the decision doesn't sit right. Your body feels heavy, and you can't shake the tension in your stomach. This is your body's way of telling you to pause and reconsider. Learning to listen to these signals could prevent you from making a choice that looks good logically, but doesn't align with your deeper truth. Up next, we'll explore how to harness the power of your dreams and imagination to deepen your intuitive abilities. Trust me, it's more exciting than you think. Section 3. Making Intuition Useful. Part 1. Harnessing Dreams and Imagination. What if your wildest dreams were actually trying to tell you something important? And what if your imagination held the key to unlocking your greatest potential? In this section, Peirce dives into the incredible power of dreams and imagination in strengthening your intuition. Dreams are often dismissed as random or meaningless, but they're actually one of the most direct ways your subconscious communicates with you. While your conscious mind sleeps, your subconscious mind is hard at work processing emotions, solving problems, and giving you insights that you may not have access to during waking hours. Peirce encourages us to start paying attention to our dreams by keeping a dream journal. Write down everything you can remember as soon as you wake up, no matter how strange or nonsensical it seems. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns and recurring themes, which are often tied to your deepest intuitive insights. Imagination, too, is a powerful tool. Most of us think of imagination as something frivolous or childish, but it's actually a key aspect of intuition. When you allow your mind to wander and create, you're opening up channels for intuitive guidance to flow. This is why many creative people, artists, writers, musicians, often talk about their best ideas coming from a place they can't explain. It's intuition working through imagination. Peirce suggests practices like visualization and guided imagery to help strengthen this connection. Imagine yourself achieving your goals, making important decisions, or even overcoming obstacles. As you do this, pay attention to any feelings or insights that arise. These are often subtle messages from your intuition, offering guidance on your next steps. Think about the famous dream of Elias Howe, the inventor of the sewing machine. He was struggling to figure out how to make his invention work, until one night, he dreamed of being captured by cannibals who threatened to kill him with spears that had holes in the tips. He woke up and realized that this was the solution. He needed to put the needle's eye at the tip of the needle, not at the base. His imagination and dream world provided the breakthrough he needed. Part 2. Receiving superconscious guidance. Imagine tapping into a source of wisdom that goes beyond your personal experiences, something higher and more profound. A superconscious realm of knowledge that's available to you at any moment. The idea of superconscious guidance might sound far-fetched, but Peirce explains that it's actually just a higher level of intuitive awareness. While most of our day-to-day intuition comes from our subconscious mind, superconscious guidance is about connecting to something greater, a universal source of knowledge and wisdom that transcends the individual. Peirce believes that anyone can access this guidance with the right practices. Meditation is a key tool for this, as it helps quiet the noise of the conscious mind and open you up to receiving insights from a higher plane. Some people describe this experience as receiving downloads, sudden bursts of knowledge or ideas that seem to come from nowhere. Others might experience it as a sense of inner knowing or peace that guides their decisions. The key here is to learn how to trust these moments of superconscious guidance. They often come without explanation or rational evidence, but they carry a feeling of certainty that's hard to ignore. Peirce suggests keeping a journal to track these moments and reflect on how they play out in your life. You'll likely find that the more you trust this guidance, the more frequently it shows up. There's a famous story about Steve Jobs, who often credited intuition and superconscious guidance for his most innovative ideas. He once said, "Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." Part 3. Applying intuition in everyday life. Hook. Imagine making decisions with absolute confidence, knowing deep down that you're on the right path, even when logic says otherwise. This chapter is all about taking the abstract idea of intuition and grounding it in your everyday life. Peirce explains that intuition isn't just for big, life-altering decisions. It's something you can use in every situation, from choosing what to eat for dinner to deciding which career path to follow. One of the simplest ways to apply intuition daily is by tuning into your immediate feelings. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, how does this feel in my body? Do you feel expansive and excited, or do you feel heavy and contracted? These physical sensations are often the first sign that your intuition is giving you a green light or a red flag. Peirce suggests starting small. Use your intuition to guide you through minor choices, like which route to take on your commute or which book to read next. As you build trust in your intuition through these smaller decisions, you'll find it easier to rely on it for the bigger ones. Imagine you're standing in the grocery store, faced with two choices. Do you pick the healthy salad, or indulge in your favorite snack? On the surface, it might seem like a simple decision, but even in these small moments, your intuition is speaking. You reach for the salad but feel a twinge of resistance in your gut. You put it back, then reach for the snack, and suddenly feel a sense of ease. It might not seem logical, but trusting that small signal can help you build the muscle of intuitive decision-making. As Peirce explains, applying intuition in everyday life helps you build a sense of flow and alignment. You'll start noticing how things just seem to click more easily. Decisions don't feel forced, and life starts to unfold in a way that feels natural and fulfilling. The more you practice this, the less you'll rely on overthinking and second-guessing yourself. Part 4. Staying in the natural flow. What if life didn't have to be a constant struggle? What if there was a way to tap into an effortless flow where things just seem to fall into place? In this final chapter of The Intuitive Way, Peirce introduces the idea of natural flow, where intuition becomes a regular part of your life. Rather than fighting against the current, you learn to move with it. This flow state is about being so in tune with your inner guidance that you start to trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should, even when it doesn't make immediate sense. Peirce emphasizes that staying in the flow requires surrender. It's about releasing the need for control and trusting that your intuition and the universe are leading you in the right direction. This doesn't mean that life becomes perfect or that challenges disappear, but it does mean that you'll handle them with more grace and less resistance. One way to maintain this flow is by practicing gratitude. When you're thankful for what's going well, you create an energy of abundance which helps you stay aligned with your intuition. Another key practice is staying open to change. Life is always shifting, and the more flexible you are, the easier it is to stay in the flow. Think about those times when everything seemed to align perfectly. Maybe you randomly ran into an old friend who offered you the exact opportunity you were looking for, or a seemingly bad situation turned out to be a blessing in disguise. That's the magic of the natural flow, where intuition guides you toward opportunities that you didn't even know you needed. So, we've journeyed through the intuitive way, exploring how to create a clear lens for intuition, access subtle information, and ultimately apply it to live in the natural flow of life. From recognizing the invisible and tuning into your body's signals to harnessing dreams and receiving superconscious guidance, we've seen how intuition isn't just a mystical force. It's a practical tool you can use daily. Here's the real takeaway. Your intuition is already within you, ready to be unlocked. It's a powerful resource for making decisions, achieving your goals, and living a more aligned and fulfilling life. If you found these insights helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and hit that subscribe button for more content that helps you grow and evolve. And let us know in the comments, what part of the video resonated with you the most? Was it learning about body awareness, dreams, or maybe applying intuition in everyday life? And here's the exciting part. Our next video will dive even deeper into how you can use intuition in business and creative fields. If you're ready to tap into the superpowers of intuitive success, you won't want to miss this. Stay tuned.